Okay, in the last turn, we have discussed the inheritance property of object-oriented programming, and today we will discuss the next property, that is polymorphism. So, the next property polymorphism. Polymorphism. Okay. So basically, it takes polymorphism. So what is the meaning of polymorphism is, so as the name suggests, so polymorphism consists of two words. One is poly and another one is morph. Okay. So poly means many, morph means form. So many form. So it means if any entity behave, if any entity behaves in different form, yeah, behave as a different form at different instance, so you can say that actually that is polymorphism. So entity means here in the case of object oriented programming, so if you see the class, so there are two entity in class. One is data, another one is method. Okay, just polymorphism mainly focus on method. So if any single method performs, yeah, same method can perform different tasks at different time. So you can say that this is the concept of polymorphism. Same method, different execution or different means task. Like suppose if I take an example, there is a method sum, and this sum will take integer x comma integer y. Okay, so this is one definition, and this method will return suppose x plus y. So return type is here integer because this particular method will add two integer value. Suppose there is another method which adds two double value, but the method is same. Method name is same, and the parameters are double x, and suppose the second parameter is integer y. So it will return x plus y, but it will return a different value, means it will return a different type of value. So here you can say that the method name is same. Method name is same, but the signature is different. Method name is same, but the signature is different. Signature means signature में क्या क्या आता है method के? Total number of arguments. Okay, if suppose there are two methods, yes, if there are two methods, so if you try to see the signature of these two methods, so first you need to see how many parameters are there, how many arguments are there. So in this case, the arguments, total number of arguments are same, but the type is different. Type of argument is different. So you can say that the signature is different. The method is same, but the signature is different. So this is the example of method overloading. If the method name is same, but the signature is different. So you can call this concept is called as method overloading. Method overloading is the example of polymorphism. Okay, because here the summation method is same, but actually the first this summation method, yeah, this sum method performs operation on double and integer value, and this summation method perform operation on two integer value. Okay, तो एक ही मेथड एक दो तरीके से काम कर रहा है यहाँ पर. सेम मेथड मीन सेम नेम. ओके, now so this is the example of polymorphism, and another type of polymorphism means another example of polymorphism is method overriding. So method overloading is the example of polymorphism. The another example is method overriding. Because in the case of method overriding, again the method name is same, but the definition is different. Actually, in this case, overriding. In the case of method overriding, method name is same. Method name, this is same, but the definition, method name is same and the definition is different. Okay, in the definition is different. Is different. So basically method overriding occurs in the case of inheritance. Method overriding occurs in the case of inheritance. Okay. So suppose I think we have already discussed the concept of method overriding. The child class overrides the already existing method of its parent class. The name of method is same, but the definition is different. So basically, here the same method performs different tasks. In the parent class, it performs different tasks. In the child class, it performs different tasks. So you can say that this is also the example of polymorphism. Okay. So if anyone asks you a question, okay, by which means you can achieve the polymorphism, either by method overloading or by method overriding. Okay. So here method overloading and method overriding. It means polymorphism can be achieved with the help of method overloading, and method overriding. Yes. एक मिनट. हाँ. Okay. Actually, I cannot increase the brightness. This is the maximum brightness of this projector. Light इसीलिए ऑफ की गई है. You can basically switch off the light in the back. बैक में जो तीनों लाइट है ना, इनको स्विच ऑफ कर दीजिए तो थोड़ा सा ब्राइटनेस शायद दिखे. हम ब्राइट कर देते हैं यहाँ से. I think black color is okay, na? Method overriding. Fine. Okay. So by these two means you can achieve the polymorphism. And the next thing is how many types of polymorphism are there? Basically, these are the ways by which you can achieve the polymorphism. Now, how many types of polymorphism? Types of polymorphism. So basically, there are two types of polymorphism. One is compile time, and another one is runtime. Okay, compile time and runtime polymorphism. And compile time and runtime polymorphism is also called as, there are different terminologies for this. Compile time polymorphism is also called as static polymorphism. Static polymorphism. And runtime polymorphism is called as dynamic polymorphism. Now the question is, why any type of polymorphism is called as compile time and other type of polymorphism is called as runtime polymorphism. Okay. So compile time polymorphism is when basically polymorphism can be achieved with the help of method overloading and method overriding, method overloading and method overriding. Okay, overloading and overriding. So basically, how can you call any method? Suppose if you would like to call a method of a particular class, so how many ways to call a method? First create the object of class, and then with the help of object of that class, you can call the method. Another way, is there any other way? If the method is static, then you can directly call. Okay, means there are two ways to call a method. Fine, either using the object, or you can call the method with the help of class itself if the method is static. Okay, so here if method calling means if you call the method, means method calling is a process. When you call a method, so it's the next step is if you call a method, so method calling is attached to method definition. Directly control ऐसे ही जाता है ना. When you call any method, then control goes to the definition of that particular method. So method, if you call any method, so the control goes from this particular line where you call the method to method definition part. Okay. Or you can say that in a terminology of object-oriented programming, the line of execution where you call the method and where actually the method definition is there. So actually you just bind these two. क्योंकि आपकी जहां कॉल कर रहे हो वहां से कहां पर आप जा रहे हो डायरेक्टली जंप करके जहां पर मेथड की डेफिनेशन है. So you can say it as binding of calling procedure to method definition. Binding. Okay. So binding of method calling to method definition. This is called as binding. And if this binding resolution or if this binding happens at compile time, so it is called as compile time polymorphism. And if this binding is resolved at runtime, so this is called as runtime polymorphism. If binding is resolved at compile time, so it is called as compile time polymorphism. And if binding is resolved at runtime, it is called as runtime polymorphism. Runtime. Okay. Okay. Now, suppose if you call any method, and in order to call a method, if object is required, if you call a method and if in order to call a method, if suppose object is required, like object dot method means object reference is required. Acha, in Java, basically when the object is created, object is a runtime entity or compile time entity? Runtime, because it is a dynamic entity. Okay, the object is created at runtime. It means it is not created at compile time. After the creation of object, you can only be able to call the method. So when you call the method with the help of object, fine. And here, if I call, suppose if I call object dot sum, and if I pass 2, 3, and suppose O is the reference variable, and if I call sum, the first is 2.5, 3. So if I call this, so actually which particular method is called, which will take both the value as integer. If I call this, then double and integer. So it means this resolution is done at runtime. Okay, this resolution is runtime. So it is called as runtime polymorphism. Similarly, if both the methods are static in nature, then अगर दोनों method static होते थे, is there any need of creation of object? So you can just directly call the object with the help of class. Means suppose the class name is mathematics. Suppose your test class. If you call test dot sum 2, 3, then there is no need to create the object here. So you can say that it is the example of static polymorphism. Okay, if the method is static in nature. If the method is static in nature, if the method is static in nature, so in the case of method overloading, you can achieve the compile time polymorphism. Okay, so this is example of compile time polymorphism. किसमें? Here. नहीं, actually binding occur means why the binding occur at runtime here? Because at runtime only we are deciding whether it is a value and other values. So basically at the runtime, if at runtime you give just the input, and that particular case, that case is different. Okay, कि आपको पता नहीं है कि कौन सी वैल्यू देने जा रहे हो, but actually when you declare a method definition, so actually the data type is mentioned. So at the compile time actually that resolution is done. मतलब input dynamic नहीं है ना, input is basically input type is decided at the compile time. Okay, तो resolution decide हो सकता है. Okay, क्योंकि कंपाइलर जब कंपाइल करेगा तो उसे पता चल जाएगा ना कि ये टाइप किसका है. कंपाइलर को तो सभी पता चल रहा, रन करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ रही है. ऐसा तो है नहीं कि रन करते समय आप बताओगे कि किस टाइप का डेटा है. ओके, नाउ come to the next interesting case of polymorphism, that is method overriding, which we have already discussed. Method overriding, but अब उसको different तरीके से discuss होगा. So method overriding is the basically example of runtime polymorphism. Why? Because method overriding is achieved in the case of inheritance. And in the case of inheritance, when you create the child class object, so implicitly parent class object is created. Fine. And when you run the program, is when you try to create the object of child class, and with the help of child class reference variable, if you would like to access the overridden method, चाइल्ड क्लास के पास भी वही मेथड है, पेरेंट क्लास के पास भी मेथड है. कैसे पता चलेगा एक्चुअली विच पर्टिकुलर मेथड शुड बी कॉल्ड? If you create the object of child type, actually which particular method should be called? Overridden method. Parent class का कि child class का? Child class का. If you create the object of parent type, then parent class का. Okay, just see. This is okay, but there is a exception is there. So method overriding, I think, okay, method overriding cases. See, the next is method overriding cases. Achha, before method overriding cases, I just go back जाने का. Yes. Okay. Actually, here see, compile time and static polymorphism are same. Runtime and dynamic polymorphism are same. So here actually at compile time polymorphism and static polymorphism is also called as, because in some book or some reference it is also mentioned that static binding. कभी-कभी आपसे पूछ लिया जाता है तो confusion हो जाता है. Static binding, it is also called as static binding, and runtime polymorphism and dynamic polymorphism is called as dynamic binding. And this dynamic binding is also called as dynamic method dispatch. Dynamic method dispatch. Okay. एक्चुअल में इंटरव्यू में अगर कोई जावा पूछता तो ये सब टर्मिनोलॉजी यूज करता है. डायनेमिक बाइंडिंग, डायनेमिक मेथड डिस्पैच, क्योंकि जनरली इन कंफ्यूजन हो जाता है इसमें. तो स्टैटिक बाइंडिंग, डायनेमिक मेथड डिस्पैच. तो दीज आर द टर्मिनोलॉजी ऑफ पॉलीमॉर्फिज्म. ओके, नाउ come to the case method overriding case. Method overriding cases. So the first case is very simple, which we have already discussed is in inheritance. The first case is, suppose there are two class, parent and child.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, your screen is not visible.
Okay. Okay. Mouse का control disturb. Now screen is visible. Screen is visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Actually there are various connections are there ना, तो क्या हो रहा है कि वो कभी इसका कंट्रोल चला जा रहा है, कभी उसका. There are various input devices are there. Okay, case one. Case one, suppose there is a parent class, there is a child class, and in parent class, suppose there are M1, M2, and M3. There are three methods. And in the child class, which inherits the parent class, suppose there are two methods, M1 and M4. Here you can see that in the parent class, M1, M2, M3 methods are there. In the child class, M1 and M4. So here, if you create the object of child class like this, new child. Okay. So this is very simple. Here the child class object is created. But here, in the case of polymorphism, you have to observe this particular line in this way. What does it mean? New child. Object is created, right? And suppose there is no child C is there. In that case, the object is created in heap memory, but there is no reference which can refer this particular object. Okay. So if there is no reference is there, then in that particular case, this object is called as anonymous object. Right? Object is called as anonymous. Means अगर हम कहते हैं 5, तो प्रोग्रामिंग के टर्म में 5 की मीनिंग क्या है? कुछ नहीं है. Until हम ये नहीं लिखते हैं x equal to 5 because we can refer the 5 with the help of x. Similarly, we can refer the child object with the help of C. So here, this object is called as anonymous object if there is no reference variable which can refer this child object. Okay. Now, so here, if I ask you a question, what is the type of object here? So type of object is child type. Okay. The type of object is child type. The first thing is type of object. Type of object. And the another thing is type of reference variable. Both are different things. Type of object and type of reference variable. So here, type of object is child and the type of reference variable means the type of C. It is also child. Okay. So in this case, the type of object and the type of reference variable both are same, so there is no problem. Okay, so with the help of C, how many methods you can access? M1, M2, M3 and okay, means you can access M1, M2, M3 and M4. Why? All four methods can be accessed because child class inherits all the property or all the methods of its parent class. Okay, so M1 of which class? Child class. Okay, M1 of child class, M2 of parent class, M3 of parent and M4 of child. Okay, ठीक है. Now, suppose in the same example, if I write means in the same case, suppose in same case means case 2 उसको बोल सकते हैं. In the second case, if I create the object like this, parent P equal to new parent, then here the object type is parent and the reference type is also parent. Both are same. So with the help of P, how many methods can be accessed? With the help of P, M1, M2, M3, M1, M2 and M3. तो obviously बात है M2 of parent, M3 of parent, M1 of parent or child? Parent. Okay. M1 of parent is called because the object is of parent type. Object is of parent type and reference is also of parent type. एक चीज आप ध्यान देना, ये रूल कर लो. दो चीजें है. First is object of object type and another one is reference type. तो basically priority किसको दी जाती है? Reference type को. Means here the reference type is of parent type. Okay. Reference type is of parent type. It means all the methods of parent class should be accessed. Okay, but there is an exception. So I just discussed that exception in the case 3. However, that is not exception, but there is something different here. Okay, now suppose if I write this, parent P is equal to new child. So in this case, the object is of which type? And that reference is of parent type. Means both types are different. तो अभी हमने क्या बताया? किसको प्रायोरिटी देने की कोशिश करेंगे? रेफरेंस टाइप को. ओके. So if I try to access the methods with the help of P, actually which method should be accessed? M1, M2 कौन से मेथड दे? इस नीचे वाले में क्या कहते हैं? सॉरी. M1 is common, M2, M3. M4 is the method of child class. So with the help of P, you cannot access M4. Okay. So M1, M2, M3 आपने बोला. M1, M2, M3 because here the reference type is of parent. But here M2 is okay. M2 of parent and M3 of parent, this is okay. But in this case, since here parent P refer to the child class object, all the methods of parent class is accessed except the overridden method. Except the overridden means इसमें जो parent class होगी वो ये देखेगी अपने class की method को हमको access करना है या मेरी वो property जो थोड़ी सी modified हुई है. Extra property से हमको मतलब नहीं. Extra property means the child class method. But actually M1 is the overridden method, means M1 is modified by child class. And since here parent P refer to child class, so here P, if you call the P dot M, so actually the child class M1 is called. Child M1 is called. This is the case. Overridden method is called and all the methods of parent is called. But extra method you cannot call with the help of parent P. If you would like to call the extra method, then you need to create the child C equal to new C. But the thing is, okay, so this is a special case. Parent P equal to new child. आपको लग रहा है कि special case है, but actually mostly this particular case is used. Mostly this type of case is used. Okay. And here actually the polymorphism came into the comes into the picture like this. If you call P dot M1, actually which method is called? Actually this is decided at runtime. Fine, because there are two methods M1. अब वो ऊपर parent का call होगा कि child का call होगा. That is decided by the type of reference variable. That is decided by the type of reference variable. If the type of reference variable is child P equal to new child, then तब भी वही होगा. Fine. And if I write parent P equal to new child, again fine. Child class का object, अब parent class का ये object अगर मैं parent class का M1 call करना है, then in that case parent P equal to new parent. Okay, here now what is the significance of writing this type of line, parent P equal to new child? Is there any significance? Actually इसमें तो drawback type का लग रहा है ना, parent P equal to new child, extra method, you cannot call the extra method. You cannot call the extra. You can call the basically all the method of parent class as well as जो parent class का enhanced version है. Enhanced version क्या है? जो modified हुआ है इसका, वो कॉल कर सकते हैं. मतलब पेरेंट क्लास बहुत कंस्ट्रक्ट वो हो रही है यहाँ पर कंजर्वेटिव कि नहीं, हम अपने अलावा किसी मेथड्स को नहीं देखेंगे, जो मेरे पास मेथड्स हैं या मेरे मेथड्स को जो मॉडिफाई किया गया है बस उसी को हम ट्रीट करेंगे. अदरवाइज जो एक्स्ट्रा मेथड है हमको नहीं देखना है. एक्स्ट्रा मेथड के लिए चाइल्ड क्लास अपना ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट करें और अपना टाइप से क्रिएट करें. व्हाट इज द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ दिस टाइप ऑफ थिंग? नाउ विद द हेल्प ऑफ एन एग्जांपल वी कैन सी इट in very clear manner. I just take an example of bank class. Bank class, suppose there is a bank class. There are various fields and there are various methods are there. Okay, there are various fields and various methods are there. Suppose there is a method M1 is there. There is a method M2 is there, and there is method, उसका नाम लिख देते हैं जो कि उसी पे डिस्कस करेंगे. That is get rate of interest. Suppose this is a method, get rate of interest. Okay. Now this bank class is inherited by three child classes, three or more child classes. It can be inherited by three or more child classes. Suppose the first child class is SBI. The another child class is PNB. And the third child class is suppose UCO Bank. UCO. So SBI, PNB, UCO, all are bank and all share the common property of bank. There are certain common properties of bank, like get rate of interest is the common property which is shared by all the. Some properties are shared by SBI, PNB, and UCO, and the some property is basically shared but different for all banks, like get rate of interest. Is it same for all? No, get rate of interest is different. Okay, so suppose this is the property, this is shared by SBI because rate of interest होगा तीनों के पास, but SBI basically may give you 7%, suppose 7.0, it may give you suppose 7.5, it may give you 8, suppose, for example, percentage of interest, rate of interest. So it means SBI needs to override this method. Needs to override. Why? How it can override? It can override like this. Suppose double get rate of interest. This will return 7. This will return 7.0. Similarly, PNB double get rate of interest. It will return 7.5. And UCO Bank double get rate of interest, it will return 8. So here this method is overridden by all three methods. Okay, ठीक है. And there is some definition here also. There is some definition here also. However, there is any requirement of definition here? जरूरत है? Is there any requirement? If I write return 7.0, okay, so it means this 7.0 is common to, so this is not correct. Okay, so however, there is no need of writing the definition, but वो नीड नहीं है, तो उसी नीड को अभी आगे चल के जब हम एब्स्ट्रैक्शन पढ़ेंगे तो इस नीड को खत्म किया जाएगा. देयर इज नो नीड टू राइट हियर द डेफिनेशन which is purely modified by all the classes. Because अगर हम आपसे पूछें क्वेश्चन में कि अच्छा ये बताइए बैंक का इंटरेस्ट क्या चल रहा है, आप कहोगे दिस इज नॉट ए करेक्ट क्वेश्चन. ओके, दिस इज नॉट ए करेक्ट क्वेश्चन. बैंक का इंटरेस्ट क्या चल रहा है, दिस इज ए करेक्ट क्वेश्चन. नहीं, वो आप नहीं बताते क्योंकि वो फिक्स नहीं है. दिस इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम डिफरेंट बैंक. लेकिन अब जैसे आपने एक क्लास बना के रखी है यूपी की या इलाहाबाद की एक क्लास है. सपोज देयर इज ए क्लास ऑफ प्रयागराज. ओके, एंड देयर इज ए मेथड दैट इज house rent allowance for central employee, suppose. So that is basically fixed for all the employee of Prayagraj type of city. So basically that can you fix, that you can fix. बट लेकिन अगर आपने कंट्री इंडिया की बना के रखी है, उसको इनहेरिट कर रहे हैं डिफरेंट स्टेट्स, यू कैन नॉट फिक्स इट बिकॉज डिफरेंट सिटी, इवन डिफरेंट स्टेट्स is having different HRA system, a different percentage of HRA. Okay, so here in this particular example there is no need of definition, because if you write the definition that is shared by all the child class, but no problem, actually you override the definition. You override the definition and there is no problem नहीं होगी. लेकिन that is not a efficient way of doing the programming. Basically this you can solve this problem with the help of abstraction. Okay, so we will see in the next property of object oriented programming, that is abstraction. So in abstraction there are two concepts, abstract class and interface. Okay, in that case वहां पर डिस्कस करेंगे कि definition नहीं लिखेंगे, अभी लिख लेते हैं. Okay, now because if you don't write the definition here, you just define the method only, then you need to write it at, means you need to declare that particular method as abstract method. Okay, abstract method means where the implementation is not defined. Abstraction क्या होता है, आपको implementation पता नहीं, ऊपर से चीज देख लो, internal detail नहीं पता, that is abstract. Abstraction यही तो बोलते हैं ना, जैसे this is the pen, आपको पता है लिखेगी, प्रॉपर्टी पता है, लेकिन कैसे लिख रही है, इंटरनल क्या चल रहा है, that is abstract for the user. Means implementation detail is hidden. Okay, so here so all the child class basically overrides the methods. So if I try to create the object of bank class, if I try to create the object of bank class like this, bank B1 equal to new bank. So here in this case the type of object is bank, reference type is bank also. If I call B1 dot get rate of interest, so actually which method is called? Parent class method is called. And if I write SBI equal to new SBI, SBI equal to new SBI, and S dot get rate of interest, which method is called? This method is called. Simply if I write PNB P equal to new PNB, so P dot get rate of interest, this method is called. Similarly for UCO also. Fine. But if I write bank B1 equal to new SBI, bank B1 equal to new SBI, means if I write bank B1 equal to new SBI. Okay, it means since why you can write this like this, because SBI is a bank, SBI is a, so you can typecast SBI object to bank. Opposite आप कर सकते हो, SBI is a bank, bank is a SBI, SBI is a bank. This is a correct statement. But bank is a SBI? It is not correct to you. If you write like this, SBI as equal to new bank, so it is not a safe operation. It is not a safe operation. Fine, it is not safe. Okay. So just see bank B1 equal to new SBI because the child class is related with parent class with the help of is a relationship. So SBI is a bank. Right to left चलते हैं ना assignment में. Assignment operator क्या होता है? Right to left. So SBI is a bank. Okay, fine. Now, if you try to call the B1 dot get rate of interest, so actually which particular method is called? SBI method is called. तो आप कहोगे सर इससे भी क्या है, वो तो SBI S equal to भी लिख देते तब भी कॉल हो जाता. So what is the significance of writing this? Bank B1 equal to new SBI. क्या significance है? सोचो. If I write bank B1 equal to new SBI, so actually overridden method of child class is called. So no problem. You can, if you write SBI S equal to, if you write SBI S equal to new SBI, so you can call the overridden method here also. और एक और advantage इससे तो you can call the extra method and you can call the all the super class method. So what is the advantage of writing this? एक तरीके से restriction लगा रहे हैं ना हम लोग. You just put the restriction here. Okay, so restriction in terms of security is okay, but restriction in terms of usability is not okay. Okay, so what is the significance of this is now. अब देखो significance बताते हैं इसका. What is the significance? Suppose there are 100 bank object. भाई एक प्रोग्राम में 2-3 ऑब्जेक्ट तो नहीं, 100 भी बन सकते हैं. There are 100 bank object of any type. SBI, suppose out of 100, it may be possible 30 objects of किस type? SBI type. 30 object SBI का है and suppose 40 objects PNB. 40 objects of PNB type and 30 of rest 30 objects of UCO type. Okay. Now, so all are bank object, but SBI type, PNB type and UCO type. So if I create like this, SBI S1 equal to new, I can create like this. तो कितने इस तरह क्रिएट करने पड़ेंगे? SBI S1 equal to new SBI, SBI S2 equal to new SBI up to SBI S30 equal to new SBI. You can create like this, but in order to store all these objects, so actually which particular data structure is good? In order to store all 30 objects. Array, because with the help of array you can easily access all the object. ठीक है, क्योंकि अदरवाइज क्या होगा, आपको S1 भी पता होना चाहिए, S2 भी पता होना चाहिए, S10 भी. इस तरह क्या होगा, अगर आपको बेस पता है तो यू कैन ट्रेवर्स इन C. जावा में भी हो जाएगा. ठीक है, पॉइंटर नहीं होगा, इंटरनल तो पॉइंटर चलेगा ही. ठीक. नाउ so it means just create the SBI type of array. So how can you create the SBI array? कैसे लिखते थे? SBI S is equal to new SBI. अच्छा, see the difference. यहाँ ब्रैकेट ये है, यहाँ ब्रैकेट एरे वाला है, नहीं तो यहाँ भी कई लोग लगा देते हैं ऐसे ब्रैकेट जल्दी जल्दी में. Because this is constructor calling, but this is array creation. Okay, this is array creation. If you create the array like this, SBI S equal to new SBI, so it means now this array can store 30 variables. यही तो होता है ना. Then this array can store 30 variables of same type. What is S0? Is the first variable. S1 is the second variable. What actually this S0 and S1 stores? क्या स्टोर करेगा? ऑब्जेक्ट का एड्रेस, रेफरेंस ऑफ ऑब्जेक्ट. मींस यू नीड टू राइट लाइक दिस, S0 इक्वल टू न्यू SBI. यही करते थे. ओके. नाउ if there are 100 banks and 30 objects for SBI, 40 objects for PNB and 30 objects for UCO. Okay, see how many types of arrays, how many arrays are created for this particular example. कितनी array की जरूरत पड़ रही है? 3 array. One array is of SBI type, another array is of PNB type, and the third array is of UCO type. ठीक है. Okay. अब अगर ये 30 ऑब्जेक्ट्स पे कोई भी ऑपरेशन परफॉर्म करके आपको पता करना है, तो आपको पूरी SBI के एरे चाहिए. अगर PNB के ऊपर ऑपरेशन परफॉर्म करना है तो आपको PNB के एरे चाहिए. एंड इफ यू वुड लाइक टू परफॉर्म द ऑपरेशन ऑन UCO, देन यू विल रिक्वायर UCO बैंक एरे. बट अगर इन द केस सपोज इफ यू वुड लाइक टू परफॉर्म ऑपरेशन ऑन ऑल 100 ऑब्जेक्ट्स, देन ऑल 3 एरेज आर रिक्वायर्ड. All 3 arrays are required. So is it possible to store these all different types of object in a single array? No, because array can only stores the object of similar type. Means data type of object should be same, right? This is the definition. Now, but if I write this, suppose if I create, can I create the array of bank type? Okay. If I create bank B is equal to new bank, this is okay. And 100. Fine. And if I write B0 is the reference variable which can refer to the bank object, but B0 can also refer to the SBI. B0 can also refer to PNB. B0 can also refer to UCO. So if I write new PNB, this is correct. Sorry, bracket. If I write B1 equal to new SBI, it is also correct. So here you can see that in a same array, you can store the address of different objects because address type is same, but it can refer to different types of object. Means if I write UCO, similarly B3 is also again the SBI. We can write this. Okay. Okay. So it means in a single array you can store all the objects, and now you can be able to perform operation on all the objects simultaneously with the help of a single array. And this concept is, this array is called as polymorphic array because एक ही array और different object को save कर रही है. This is called as polymorphic array. And this is the significance of the parent type refer to the child class object. अब समझ में आया इसका बेनिफिट कहां पर हो रहा है जाके? Because this parent type refer to its child class object. So in the case of polymorphic array, fine. And if you pass the polymorphic array in a method, polymorphic array, suppose B, if you can pass like this, MB, and in the definition part, क्या होगा? If you call this method like this, MB, in the definition part, M, यहाँ पर क्या होना चाहिए? In order to take this array ही होना चाहिए. Which type? Bank type. अब देखो, अगर आप यहाँ पर बैंक टाइप की एरे डिक्लेयर करोगे तो अब उसके अंदर कोई भी ऑब्जेक्ट पास कर सकते हो, चाहे वो SBI का हो, चाहे वो यूको का हो, चाहे PNB का हो. लेकिन अगर कोई स्पेसिफिक बैंक यहाँ लिख देते तो दूसरे टाइप के ऑब्जेक्ट को एरे ना ले पाती. एंड नाउ इन दिस केस दिस एरे means this method will take any type of object. Okay, so this is the significance, and this polymorphic array as a parameter you can use. Okay, as a parameter. This is the significance of the third case. Fine. तो जनरली यही यूज करते हैं जिससे हमको आगे चल के ऑपरेशंस परफॉर्म करने पड़ेंगे. ठीक है. सपोज एक एग्जांपल लेते हैं. सपोज देयर इज ए एम्प्लॉय क्लास and there are different subclasses of employee: manager, secretary, clerk, engineer. Okay, means if I take an example here, suppose employee is the class, and in employee class, suppose there are various subclasses like manager, engineer, clerk, and there are various employees also there. अभी हम तीन ही ले रहे हैं. There are various types of employees can be there. भाई कोई इंडस्ट्री है तो उसमें और कोई भी टाइप के एम्प्लॉइज में ऐड हो सकते हैं. दैट इनहेरिट्स द प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ एम्प्लॉय क्लास. सो हियर हर मैनेजर की सैलरी भी अलग अलग हो सकती है कि नहीं हो सकती है? मैनेजर की सैलरी अलग अलग नंबर ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस के बेसिस पे हो सकती है कि नहीं? सपोज देयर इज ए फील्ड नंबर ऑफ ईयर ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस. सपोज द सैलरी इज डिपेंडेंट अपॉन द नंबर ऑफ ईयर ऑफ experience. Similarly, here number of year of experience, and the base salary of all type of employees are also different. Suppose the base salary of manager is 20,000, base salary of engineer is 40,000, base salary of clerk is 10,000. Okay, and इसके ऊपर number of years और other parameter add होके total salary निकलती है. Now, suppose there are various managers are there: M1, M2, M3. Similarly, engineer E1, E2, E3. Similarly, clerk C1, C2, C3. If I try to find out the name of employee who is who get maximum salary, अगर आपको पता करना है कि कौन सी एम्प्लॉय की सैलरी सबसे ज्यादा है, किसी की भी हो सकती है, मैनेजर, इंजीनियर और क्लर्क. हो सकता है मैनेजर नया नया ज्वाइन किया और क्लर्क 18 साल से रह रहा हो. हालांकि ऐसा होगा नहीं, लेकिन सपोज फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर एग्जांपल सैलरी किसी की भी ज्यादा हो सकती है. So in that particular case, if you would like to define any method, okay, and with the help of method you try to find out the name of employee who is getting maximum salary. So in that particular case, you need to pass all different objects in that particular method, all different type of objects. So in this case, again you need to means pass a polymorphic array as a parameter. ठीक है, वहां पर फिर जरूरत पड़ जाएगी इस केस के लिए. Okay, तो this is an example. Fine. Okay, so now so I think method overriding cases are, we have discussed method overriding cases. There is one more cases of the in the case of static context. In the case of static context means in static context, just see static context. So basically in the case of static context, if there are various means if this method name is same but the signature is different and the methods are static in nature, that is the example of compile time polymorphism. Now suppose this is parent and this is child, and M1, M2 is the method, M1, M3 is the method, and M1 is static in nature and M1 is also static in nature. So in this case, if I write parent, suppose this is parent and this is child. If I write parent P equal to new parent, new child, and if I try to P dot M1, actually which particular method is called? अब child का नहीं कॉल होगा because that method is static in nature. That method is static in nature. So basically, because static method means is not is overridden. You cannot override the static method. Okay, you cannot override. Static method can't be override. Can't be override static method. Okay. In different class. This is possible because this child class, for this particular child class, if you write M1 and this, so actually this hides this M1. Actually this particular static method hides the parent class method. Usko override nahi kar raha, actually it hides. Okay, this is possible. Now another concept of polymorphism is typecasting. However, we have already seen it, but just see the terminology, typecasting. So typecasting is also possible in the case of primitive data type, like in C or C++ language or C language. Typecasting is possible in the case of primitive data types. And typecasting can also be possible in the case of reference data type. Okay, reference data type. So primitive data type typecasting is the same as C programming. So isko we need not to discuss here. However, primitive data type casting is of two type. कौन-कौन सी होती थी? Implicit and explicit. Implicit done by compiler and explicit by programmer. Okay, fine. And here जो लोअर रैंक का डेटा टाइप है वो हायर में टाइप कास्ट हो जाता है इजिली. लोअर रैंक डेटा टाइप कैन बी सिंपली टाइप कास्टेड इनटू हायर रैंक डेटा टाइप, but the higher rank, if you try to typecast the higher rank data type to lower rank, then you need to perform typecasting, external typecasting. But in that particular case, that is unsafe. Unsafe means some data may loss. Okay. Similarly, in the case of reference data type, if you see, there is a parent and child relationship. Parent and child relationship. And if I take the example of employee, suppose there is an employee and suppose manager is an employee. Manager is a employee. So manager is related with employee with the help of is a relationship. So if I write employee E equal to new manager, so this is the example of reference typecasting. If I write this, it means manager is typecasted into employee. So since manager is an employee, so there is no problem. Manager is a employee, right to left. So manager is a employee. So this is okay. And this type casting is implicit type or explicit? Implicit ही लग रहा है. Implicit type of typecasting. Okay, but in the case of Java programming and object-oriented programming, this type of typecasting is called as upcasting. Why it is called as upcasting? Because lower means ये hierarchy level पे तो नीचे है ना manager. So manager is at lower hierarchy. To manager is typecasted into its super class. Okay. However, the properties of manager, there are more properties in manager, but as per the terminology, manager is the subclass and employee is the super class. So here manager is typecasted into employee. So this is called as upcasting, and this is also called as generalization. Generalization. Why it is called as generalization? Because employee is generalized class. Employee is generalized class while the manager is specialized. Right? Specialization पूछते हो ना employee का. Manager is specialized and employee is generalized term. Okay. So when you move from lower to higher, so it is the process of generalization. अगर उल्टा move करते then employee is specialized to manager or engineer, but manager is generalized to employee. So this is called as upcasting or generalization. And the opposite of this is called as downcasting and specialization. Downcasting and specialization means, in this case, if I try to write like this, manager B is equal to new employee. If I write manager P equal to new employee, so employee is a manager. This is correct or wrong? This is not correct. And this is basically, here we try to downcast, or we need to basically downcast or specialize the thing. So you can say that this is the example of explicit typecasting, and in explicit typecasting, this is the explicit type operator. And if I write this manager, and then here new employee, this is equal to manager P. So in this case, the program to run karega, because a new employee is created, object is created, but our object cannot be typecasted into manager. So actually, a runtime error occur. Runtime error occur, that is basically in Java, runtime error is called as exception. So it is called this. Which type of exception is generated? Class cast exception. Casting में दिक्कत आ रही है, तो class cast exception occur. So just this is for your homework or assignment. Can it is possible to typecast employee into manager somehow? Just see it, explore it. I just give you a hint. There is an instance of operator. ये आप खुद से पढ़िएगा, हम इसको नहीं बता रहे. Just explore this instance of operator and just try to explore anyhow it is possible or not. Okay. So this is all about the polymorphism chapter. Okay. Is there any confusion? You may ask the question. So inheritance and polymorphism is over. And the next property of object-oriented programming is abstraction. Okay. And abstraction can be achieved with the help of either abstract class or interface. So from the next one we will discuss the abstract class. एक section में शुरू हो चुका है abstract class. ठीक है? So any problem? So you may ask the question. Operator overloading is not possible here in Java. Operator overloading is not possible. Okay. Actually, in C++, basically there are certain features of C programming language. And in the C, basically there are the concept of primitive data type. Also, तो C++ में क्या होता है? वो primitive data type पे operation perform करता है. C में तो आप ऐसा नहीं है कि without object you cannot do anything. But in the case of Java, you need to create object, at least one object in order to perform. You need to create at least one class. एक class तो बनाते ही हो ना? You need to create one class. Fine? Okay. अच्छा एक चीज और है, कुछ इंटरव्यू में पूछते हैं, ये भी आप लिख लो, एक्सप्लोर करना खुद से, कि can we declare a class without main method? Can we declare a class without main method? Main class होती है ना, main method. Because in the main method, actually, you starts the Java virtual machine starts the execution from the main method. So can you declare the class without the main method? Can you declare, write a program without the main method? And can you will be able to execute it or not? तो इसको explore करके देखना कि हो पाएगा कि नहीं. ठीक, एक तरीके से हो जाएगा, एक बार चेक करो. Okay. Okay, so thank you. I think means at 5 p.m. today there is a facilitation event of Cisco Thinkubator. So I hope you all are registered. Yeah. जिन्होंने नहीं किया है वो एक बार कर लें, और उसमें आप एक बार, ज्यादा नहीं, 1 आवर की इवेंट होगी, उसमें आपको कुछ करना नहीं, सिर्फ सुनना है और देखो कि क्या क्या आइडियाज प्रेजेंट किए गए हैं. 5-5 मिनट में आइडिया प्रेजेंट किए जाएंगे. ठीक है, क्योंकि हो सकता है अगली बार आपका भी आइडिया वहां तक पहुंच जाए. नेक्स्ट ईयर में जनवरी में कोई सबमिट करने का आइडिया आएगा, हम ये सब कर लो, वो कोई दैट इज नॉट ओनली स्पेसिफिक फॉर सी सेक्शन। हाँ मेल आया था ना, तो मेल आप फिर से सर्कुलेट करो सबको, और अभी ज्वाइन कर लो आप लोग। उसमें एक लॉगिन बनानी पड़ेगी, लॉगिन बना लीजिए और शाम को 5 बजे से पहले ज्वाइन कर लीजिए, ठीक है? 5 बजे इवेंट होगी 5 p.m. और वही लॉगिन जब सिस्को में बन जाओगे तो आपकी एक आईडी बन जाएगी, उससे आप इवेंट देख सकते हो कौन सी हो रही है, कैसे हो रही है, इनक्यूबेटर में वो सब एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हो।